The Daily Wire was supposed to be the one taking on Disney with a Snow White movie starring Brett Cooper. But Rachel Zegler has less to fear from the house that Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring built. Today, we'll tell you why their entertainment endeavors are at the edge of implosion and let you know whether or not we think this turns into a full-blown new media explosion. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we are always bringing you the latest in entertainment. We are fair to all sides, and Jonas J. Campbell looks good from one side and one side only. Welcome back, sir.
Hello. It's my left side, isn't it?
It is. I'm sorry. By the way, folks, you can help us not be too sorry today by clicking that like button. Send this YouTube video out across the Great Plains of the internet so that everyone can see what's truly going on. All right, as we get started, we want to remind everyone that we are here to talk about the entertainment side of things. So we are not going to drama farm anything up here. We're not going to be purposefully incendiary or inflammatory or any of those other I words that are bad. Jonas, do you think you can hold to those rules, please?
I think so.
All right. Well, we're talking today about the Daily Wire, which we thought Daily Wire was going to be bringing out a Snow White movie, and it was going to be starring Brett Cooper. But Jonas, that doesn't seem to be happening anymore. And, well, there have been a number of personalities at the Daily Wire that have been shown the door. And so the question now is the Daily Wire, as an entertainment entity, is it imploding? And we're going to show folks different aspects of this, and then you can come to your own conclusion. But again, we're going to stay away from the political side of it and just talk about the entertainment side. All right, first of all, we've got a interview that Tucker Carlson did with Piers Morgan. We're going to play just a very brief snippet of it, and then we'll go into what the Daily Wire had to say that may have been, or could have been, a bit of a mistake, drawing them even more into a drama war. Here's what Tucker had to say.
If you're intentionally killing civilians, you probably shouldn't beat your chest and brag about it. You know, maybe you could make the
I agree
case,
with that.
Maybe you make the case that we had to do it or whatever, but you should.
I agree.
You should weep, and that's evil, and you should just say it's evil. And I know it's really threatening to.
Is it evil,
Ben Shapiro to say that or whatever, but
is it evil?
to kill civilians on purpose? Yeah, it is. I think it is.
Okay, so Tucker goes for a zing against Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, of course, is one of the top dogs of the Daily Wire. Jeremy Boring, however, another one of the top dogs, says this: anyone still blind to what Tucker is doing is willfully so. He isn't hiding it. When a man has worse things to say about Winston Churchill and Ben Shapiro than Vladimir and Yahtzee apologists, he's making his position pretty clear. Now, the problem with this, Jonas, we're going to stay completely out of the political side of it, right? So we're not going to debate Israel. We're not going to debate tactics of combat. All of that's going to be set to the side for a moment, because we're here to talk about the entertainment aspect of it. Daily Wire has something like 1 million subscribers, and they've tried to launch this Bent Key entertainment service. They've also, they're trying to get into movie making. It doesn't appear to me to have been so successful. Jeremy Boring, the way that he's weighing into this doesn't seem to me to be a way to win in that endeavor. So, and I'll tell you why, and then you tell me what you think about it. This approach, it seems to me it would be better if they reached out to Tucker, maybe did an interview one-on-one, him and Ben Shapiro, and they can hash this out. They can air their political differences, right? Instead, this claim that Tucker is aligned with Vlad and the Yahtzees, well, that's out of the playbook that we've been fighting against for so long, where you disparage people in that way, and it's probably just not true. So what do you make of it, Jonas? Is this yet another big mistake that draws the Daily Wire into a contentious situation where it's hard for them to continue to pick up new subscribers and people interested in their entertainment offerings?
The first thing I'll say is I have not been quite following Tucker Carlson since he left Fox News. Not that I was really following that closely beforehand, but Tucker has wandered into some weird controversies that I don't understand why he has decided to go the way that he's gone. I think he's struggling with identity and ends up in some places where he might end up near the conspiracy theory area. If he's trying to be like a right-wing Joe Rogan, and that is not a compliment when I say that, even though Joe has a amazing podcast series. When I try to say that he's a right-wing Joe Rogan, he's going towards things that probably need to be pushed back on a little bit more when they're being said to him. But Jeremy Boring here seems to only weigh in on negative things. He's doing that thing where he will jump in front of a parade and he'll try very hard to take the win. But he'll generally get out in front of a culture war issue and try to make it about himself. Or at least that's the image that he's portraying here. It's so strange because I don't actually know what any of his viewpoints are, but he is very defensive when it comes to Daily Wire.
Right. And I don't want to take any position on Tucker Carlson. I don't want to take any position on the political viewpoints of Daily Wire. I simply want to say that from the standpoint of how do you attract more people to your side, doing that which the right seems to be very, what would we say here? Stridently against. The right seems to be stridently against this idea of falsely connecting people with Yahtzees, because that's what's been done to the right. So the idea that you would do that at the same time you're trying to convince people on the right to use your entertainment service, well, that seems hard for me to wrap my head around how that could be successful. Here's the other part of this. Now, Brett Cooper has left the Daily Wire, and Brett Cooper, I'm just going to go ahead and say, Jonas, I was wrong. All right? I was wrong because I had presumed and assumed that Brett Cooper had made a mistake. And one of the mistakes that Brett Cooper had made was that she had too long of a delay from the creation of her channel to the actual production of content. Because what that can do on YouTube is paying very close attention to how many subscribers do you have and how many views are you getting on your videos? Because then it's extrapolating from that the percentage of your subscribers who are tuning in. So if your subscribers get too large before you've ever produced content, then YouTube could actually see that as, oh, well, you're only getting 5 to 10% of your subscribers to tune in. Therefore, people are not that interested in you. Therefore, we're not going to share your content out with the broader spectrum of the audience, because if your subscribers aren't watching you, well, who is? So she had this giant push into her subscriber base. And then I thought, oh no, she's going to get too many subscribers too quickly before she can create content. That clearly did not happen. She's got 3.2 million views on her very first major video. And so she's talking about right-wing cancel culture. That's her first episode, 3.2 million views. And I'm not going to prognosticate as to how she's going to do with her future episodes, but I am going to say she was a very, very big deal to the Daily Wire. She was essentially the last remaining female personality who's just phenomenally successful. And for whatever reason, she's left, and she's going to go do quite well. I think she's going to do just fine. And that leaves Daily Wire in a very strange position, because the show that she has left isn't doing so hot. And I feel like this also has been mismanaged to some degree. So yet another feather out of the hat of Daily Wire. And Jonas, the Snow White movie, like, this was supposed to be a thing, and I'm not even sure they even shot it. Like, I think it may have just been a teaser trailer trolling effort. I don't know. What do you think?
One, I do think it was just the teaser trailer. I think they got enough footage to get something out the door. Jeremy Boring has made comments since then talking about how members of his family have worked on music for that movie here. It's actually kind of interesting when you go back to the Steven Crowder situation, and I could see both sides of that argument with the Steven Crowder back and forth that they had. There was probably an instance where Crowder needed to respond and renegotiate. And there was also some things on it that made the Daily Wire look bad. I think they assumed that closed door negotiations would stay closed door. But Boring made a comment in all of that, how people could work for him and he used the term wage slaves for a little while, build their brand, and then leave. Well, looking at what Brett Cooper has done, whether or not Jeremy Boring is approving of what she's done, he's fulfilled that prophecy here. They have helped Brett Cooper to build her brand, and by the way, and I just have a feeling about this. I think Brett Cooper was popular on YouTube and the and Ben Shapiro and all of them are probably more popular on the podcast platforms. That's just a gut feeling. Somebody could come at me for the actual data, and that's totally fine here. But I think that they made the mistake of building a personality on a platform where they're not as strong, and now that personality just said, you know what, I'm going to go do my own thing. By the way, I like this format better than the comment section. The comment section was not my cup of tea. I like Brett Cooper just fine. That's not a dig on her, but I like these longer form discussions here. I watched about, well, let me look, about 15 minutes or so of this. No, 12 minutes and 15 seconds of this so far. She seems to be doing a pretty good job with it. Without having to stick somebody else's commentary or somebody else's video in the middle of it. So good for her. She's well spoken. She's not talking like she's reading off a teleprompter. I see a future here for her, and she's already got brand deals. So Good Ranchers is over there sponsoring her right off the bat. So I'm imagining that right now she's probably making more money than she did on her Daily Wire contract. So good for her.
Good Ranchers is not the only entity that seems to be supporting her. Mikhalia Peterson, the daughter of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, who is one of, if not the biggest, it's debatable who's the biggest over at Daily Wire, but Dr. Jordan Peterson is a huge personality online. He's with Daily Wire. Well, Mikhalia Peterson, on January 31st, just a few days ago, said, Brett Cooper joined me this week. She just launched a new YouTube channel and hit 1 million subs before posting a single video. We discussed about her future, homeschooling, marriage, media shifts, and staying true to your beliefs in the public eye. Enjoy. So, and then I have heard, although I cannot confirm yet, Jonas, I've heard that Peterson Academy, which is Dr. Peterson's big effort, may also be sponsoring Brett Cooper. Not totally sure about that, but let me tell you, that's a very interesting dynamic. And that's why when Jeremy Boring comes out, and insinuates strongly that he provided acting classes for Brett Cooper while she was at Daily Wire because she wasn't good enough. I think all of this, there is a real danger for Daily Wire. And my recommendation, because, I'm not here, we're not here to take a side. Like, I'm not here to tell people to support or to leave Daily Wire. I'm not hoping that they fail or implode. And I'm also, I want everybody to succeed. So, maybe I'm just an eternal optimist. I even want Disney to get their ship turned around one day and get sailing the right way. But it just seems to me that there's an issue of magnanimousness that needs to return in certain ways to the Daily Wire to help them rekindle this entertainment thing that they were aiming for. Because if they get stuck in the muck of these personality battles, it's going to be very hard for them to attract more people. And I'm concerned, and that this is why it's part of the purview of our channel. They've got this Bent Key streaming platform, and they've got Daily Wire Plus also. And these are essentially entertainment options that they provide. And that's part of this new media attempt, to be formidable and for the right to have something that is counter-programming on the same level as something as Disney, although, they're nowhere close to that. But they've really stymied that. They've made it where it's almost impossible to see that coming to fruition. And I think that's come through missteps from the Daily Wire. I don't know how you can look at what's happened and come to any other conclusions. Not to say that they're totally reprehensible, but it's to say they've made some missteps. And I think that's fair. Am I wrong on any of that, Jonas?
No, well, except that I would disagree with one thing, and that's this. I think the Daily Wire actually has really good political analysis. I might disagree with some of their conclusions, but they are mired deep in political analysis, and their podcasts are, generally speaking, very good. I think that Matt Walsh is. Sometimes I struggle to figure out whether or not he's trolling or whether or not he is just amplifying his curmudgeonly takes to try to make certain people angry. But I think Ben Shapiro has a perspective unlike any other in the space. I think it will be great once the Israel conflict has simmered down a little bit to get back to political takes about other subjects a little bit more here. But I think when they go into that entertainment space, they have made some pretty large errors, like naming your production company like Daily Wire Studios or Daily Wire Films or something like that. It would be like releasing a film about any subject and having it be Fox News Films. That does not quite jive with the audience. So they want to be a culture war brand, but also not be known as a culture war brand when they do something like Bentkey. The entire point of Bentkey, I'm thinking, is because they want to be a few steps away from What is a Woman and the Am I a Racist documentaries here. But they're not quite there yet. I don't know if they can stand on their own just yet. And also the first few films that they released were films that they just purchased, which is fine from a production standpoint, from a studio standpoint, but it gets you unusual results with when you're trying to set your image there. So there's been some, I would say there's been some missteps on the entertainment side.
And I would agree. And that's really the focus of what we're talking about here.
Or I should say at least less focused steps on the entertainment side. I don't know that they're building to last on the entertainment side for as long as it is Daily Wire. I think that they were two people with two ideas, and they did one thing in the meantime that they were really successful at. And then the other one, they were like, well, we're going to do that anyway. So they put the name on it.
So we're not here to be totally negative. As you said, when you brought up the Matt Walsh documentary, that was incredibly successful for them. The Daily Wire has joined the White House press room with Mary Olahan as their correspondent. That's fantastic for them. And, a lot of the major personalities at the Daily Wire, we're big fans of them. Andrew Klavan, Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. Am I missing somebody there? Jonas, did I miss anybody? Oh, Michael Knowles. We like Michael Knowles. So,
I actually, she doesn't do any shows, but I like that Megan Basham.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. So we're not here to bash the Daily Wire. I'm simply here to say that they're at the precipice of the entertainment side of what they're doing kind of falling apart. And it looks to me like that was supposed to be half of what they were going to do. And so the way to get out of that is, I think the quibbles and the squabbles of personality issues, I think they got to get out of that. They got to be above that. And they definitely don't need to adopt the attack strategies that the left employed against the right. That's a horrible way to go. And if they'll get back on track, we want everybody to get the win, literally everybody. So we would love to see some wins happen over there.
I will point out one more thing. I do see some indications that the Daily Wire is trying to understand their audience a little bit better, as the conservative audience has changed in its makeup over the last 10 years because of, well, I don't need to speak to the entire political landscape here, but the right has grown in a way that maybe the things that Daily Wire did right at the start are not trying to appeal to the same audience. That audience has grown in a way that it's a more diverse audience than it was in the past. So I think this is going to be, instead of a right-wing brand that appeals to a majority of the audience, that audience has grown to a point where they're not quite sure what their message needs to be.
I think that's well said. Folks, that's the message from us to you. We want to lay out the stats. We want to lay out what's happening, and then you come to the conclusion that you wish to draw. And just know that we're not trying to pick a fight. We're not trying to be drama farmers, but we do want to weigh in on entertainment. It can't always be Disney and Paramount and all of those things. If we are going to talk about the new media being on the same level as the legacy media or greater, well, we have to also analyze the new media. And I think that Daily Wire definitively goes there. All right, folks, you can help us send this video out. Click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. And Jonas J. Campbell, we've got a very big week coming up. We've got the Disney earnings call. Are you ready, sir?
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to finding out what new stories the Disney company will be telling this week.
That's right. Folks, tune in to Valiant Renegade on Wednesday morning for the Disney earnings call. We'll have coverage on his channel, this channel, That Park Place. We've got a preview of the earnings call on the Pro Show Tuesday. That is February 4th at noon Eastern. We would love for you to join us as we'll give our take on what we think will be the takes of those watching when Bob Iger takes the stage yet again to answer maybe AI calls. Who knows? Also, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to get Vacation Radio monetized. It's the final push. So get on over, click the link in the video description, and tune in to the kind of tunes that will put you in a very good mood to win the day. We would love to have you come our way and enjoy our original content creation. Hey, it's almost like we're dabbling in the Daily Wire strategy. We'll see if we can be successful. We wish everyone out there who has creative endeavors major success. All right, folks, until the next time we have the honor of spending time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube. Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube. One of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga. He's Jose. That one seems a little bit foreign to you.